Hey everyone, welcome back to Warren's Everyday English. In the previous video, we went over frequently used expressions that we use during the morning. In today's video, we're going to continue this theme and go over expressions we commonly use in the evening. As previously mentioned, many things occur in the morning and evening, so it's only natural that we'll have many unique expressions that pertain to these times of day. If you missed a previous video, you can find it over here. I'm going to first go over the complete scenario, and then I'll be breaking down each section and going over the expressions used. So let's dive right into it. Jane had permission from her parents to stay out past midnight, so she went to her friend's house. Jane and her friends went out to buy some beers at 11 p.m., but they couldn't buy them because liquor stores don't sell alcohol after hours. They decided to hang out at a bar. Jane's mom worries too much. Even though she let her daughter go to her friend's house, she waited up until her daughter came back home. Her brother Jack had a test the next day at school, so he decided to stay in and study. As soon as Jack got home from school, he crashed for an hour because he was so exhausted. Since he took a nap after he came back from school, Jack was not tired, so he decided to stay up and study all night. However, when he sat at the desk, he couldn't focus on studying because he wanted to go out with his friends. So let's break down the first sentence. Jane had permission from her parents to stay out past midnight, so she went to her friend's house. So stay out. Stay out is another common expression meaning to not come home and to be outside after a certain time. It is also used a lot in scenarios involving teenagers and certain times that their parents require them to be home by. So for example, a parent might say to their child, "You can't stay out past 10 p.m. I expect you to be home by 10." So here, Jane received permission from her parents to stay outside late, past midnight, so she went to her friend's house. The next sentence, Jane and her friends went out to buy some beers at 11 p.m., but they couldn't buy them because liquor stores don't sell alcohol after hours. So after hours is a phrase used to describe the time period where something closes or cannot be purchased. Alcohol is the main example used when talking about after hours. In certain states in America, even though the store, supermarket for example, may still be open, however, you'll not be able to purchase alcohol because stores stop selling alcohol after a certain time. Sometimes people use the expression after hours when talking about clubs, parties, bars that are open when typically everything else has closed for the evening. For instance, there may be some bars that are open after a club has closed for the evening. So in some instances, people may say, "Hey, there's an after-hours bar down the street. Let's go there after this club closes." So in the original sentence above, Jane and her friends went to buy some beers at 11 p.m., but they couldn't because the stores stopped selling alcohol at 11 p.m. They decided to hang out at a bar. Hang out. So hang out, it's a common expression used when talking about getting together and meeting a friend or friends. This is probably the most common expression people use when talking about meeting friends. So you might say to your friend, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Let's hang out."
Even if friends wanted to hang out, I was so flaky, I
I'm
would
gonna come hang out in Florida with you.
Jane's mom worries too much. Even though she let her daughter go to her friend's house, she waited up until her daughter came back home. Wait up. So wait up, it's a common expression used when you wait for someone and not sleep. So for example, if you were going to spend the night at your friend's house, you might say to your spouse, "Hey, I'm going to sleep over at Bob's house, so don't wait up for me." So in this sentence, it's saying that Jane's mother didn't sleep and waited for her daughter to come back home. Her brother Jack had a test the next day at school, so he decided to stay in and study. So stay in when talking about not going out and staying home. So for example, "Hey Bob, want to hang out this weekend?" "Nah, I've been sick all week. I'm going to stay in this weekend." So here, since Jack had a test the next day, he stayed home and studied. As soon as Jack got home from school, he crashed for an hour because he was so exhausted. So crash, right? Crash is an expression that we use when we talk about sleeping. It's usually used when talking about falling asleep right away or immediately. So, for instance, if you only slept 2 hours the night before, you might crash when you get home from work.
And we get tired. We crash throughout each day.
By the time they get in, they are so tired and they crash.
So in this example, as soon as Jack got home, he fell asleep immediately before dinner because he was so exhausted. Since he took a nap after he came back from school, Jack was not tired, so he decided to stay up and study all night. Right? Stay up. Stay up is used when we talk about deliberately not sleeping. So for instance, hey, you should hang out with Bob and me on Friday. We're going to stay up all night playing video games.
Today we can stay up longer and watch Game of Thrones. Yes!
And I would choose to stay up all night watching Ellen videos.
When he sat at the desk, he couldn't focus on studying because he wanted to go out with his friends. Go out. So go out means to go outside and hang out with somebody. Maybe a friend, for example.
For fun. I love to go out with friends. I love going dancing.
I either go out with friends or I play basketball.
So that concludes our evening expressions. We covered a lot of useful expressions that help us talk about things we do in the evening or things that occur in the evening. I'd like you to take these expressions and use them in your daily life so that you can become comfortable using them and expanding on these expressions. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.